That's a third. Watkins lucky. What a goal! And they've won it!
As Jansson crosses it, Watkins 3-1. Brentford have won here. Pontus hit the shoot. What a goal! What a goal!
Ball pulled back. Watkins! When they needed him most, Lonnie Watkins steps up to the stage.
Welcome to the run-in, show 3, 3 wins in 3 different kits. What a week. Also, congratulations to Alan McCormack on your promotion. Love that, mate. What a week it has been. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the Pontus Jansson to my Ethan Pinnock, the ambassador. Marcus Gayle, how's it going, mate?
Very well, thanks, mate.
Not a bad
All
week?
Good. Very good week. Couldn't have asked for more.
Tomorrow, you know what happens tomorrow?
What happens tomorrow?
Barbershops get reopened. I'm going to
Not in my
next
case.
week. Yeah, not
in
for
my
you.
case.
Enjoy the games?
Great games to watch, great games to sort of view in terms of the performances, the results, and the feeling after the game as well.
Well, what a week it was, and there's loads to talk about, games coming thick and fast, and also Dru Yearwood. I'm going to make that stick. It's not going to happen, but I want that to stick. I had a little chat with him to discuss his favourite things. Not only that, Paul Gibbs picked his all-time Brentford 11, and joining us via Zoom here in the studio, the mountain, Ethan Pinnock. Woohoo, not bad, is it?
It's a good addition for today's show.
First of all, should we have a little watch of the games from last week?
Let's have a look.
Marcus, like you said, big first week. How nice, though, was it seeing this man back at Griffin Park doing his thing?
Not just seeing him, but actually hearing him as well.
Whole way through the game you could hear him, couldn't you?
Yeah, especially at the end, he nearly blew my speakers out.
Look, let's start with West Brom. What did you make of the match?
Good game, tight game. Both technical sides. Pereira causing problems. Sawyers was trying to dictate the game, but we sunk in there. We dug in deep. Great first goal for Ollie in this restart, and it just sums him up. Poacher's goal.
One word that's been used a lot I've seen is complete to describe that performance. Did you go along with that?
Yeah, because it's solid at the back. There's no goals conceded, and we can just sit in there and just peck away at the team and grab that all-important goal. So I think that's why people are describing it as complete now, compared to last season.
And you spoke about Ollie obviously getting the goal, and so you now joined with Mitrovic, and with his ban, an opportunity for Ollie to win that little battle. You messaged me after the game saying genuine goal scorer separated the two sides. And what did you mean by that?
I'm just thinking that West Brom, I don't think they've got anyone quite like Ollie Watkins in their team. They've got goal scorers, but they haven't got an Ollie Watkins as we've got here in our team. And I think that's why I said he separates the sides, because the way he got into that box, into that position, to get a touch onto the ball, to put it into the back of the net, it proves that he is a genuine goal scorer in this level. And
you said about the goals where he scores them, and obviously we do our research, do our homework, and this is where he has been scoring. So he scored 23 goals this year, 22 of them have been from inside the box, which is pretty remarkable, and only one from outside the box, obviously that amazing volley.
Yeah.
I didn't see him as this kind of striker when he first went into that role. Did you think he'd be like this? I
thought he would be able to develop into it. I think he's done it a lot quicker than I thought.
So can you be taught this then, or is it natural?
It's a bit of both. I think you've got to have the desire as a player to want to learn. I think he's got that. He's got the humility to take new instructions and take advice. And I think it's a combination of everything around him in that environment at training. And we're seeing the fruit of it coming out of him. He's scoring all types of little goals.
Well, let's have a look at some of these goals. I mean, like you say, it's great movement there off the back of the centre-half shoulder. That was described as almost like Cristiano Ronaldo-esque, I'm sure I saw Thomas say. They are all in and around.
They're all quite different. And what's good about him, he's just pulling away from the defender. He's getting in between the two centre-halves at times. He's pulling off. Because the defender, he can't watch you and the ball at the same time. And I think Ollie's quite key to that.
Yeah, and look, another man on the score sheet in the week, Brian Mbomo. He's got 15 goals and 7 assists this season. I mean, for a first year in English football, for a man of his age, he's 20 years old. Why is he not getting the plaudits that maybe the other two in the BMW are?
I'm just not too sure why he doesn't. But for me, he's been right up there with Ollie. Especially, as you said, it's his first year in English football, which is normally a tough year. We saw that with Neil Maupay. He struggled at periods in his first season. Second season, he just hit the ground running. But Mbomo, he's not taken that first season to get used to it. He's just taken it to Dr. Water.
Yeah, how hard will it be for someone like that at that young age coming over to England? Do you think it kind of... I always find now that there's a bit of almost like a football manager, FIFA kind of fan like myself that maybe goes, oh, he can just do that. What is it? He's just playing football. But it must be really tough coming over at a young age.
It will be, but I think because he's got good players around him, good coaching support around him, good family support as well, that's going to help you settle into the team, into the new culture, and above all, he's enjoying his football.
And look, you also messaged me saying we've not conceded for 4.5 games now. Are these two the best partnership in the league?
Well, currently they must be. They've got to be up there. It's refreshing to see Pontus back in the team, but Ethan Pinnock's been a rock all season, really.
Yeah. Why do you think they work so well together? Jansson calls it the mountain. I love that.
They must have good combinations in terms of how they communicate. They read each other's body language very well. They know what each other's good at on the ball and off the ball as well. They cover each other exceptionally well. They're both left foot and right footed, and for me, that's a really good understanding and a combination to have.
And we're going to talk about Ethan in more detail later because he is joining us via Zoom. We've had confirmation he is. You played obviously as a striker for some of your career. What happens when you go up against two players like that? Which ones do you try and go to? Are you going out?
I'll be looking at the weakest link. I'll be trying to test where's my best opportunity to get past them, whether it's down the sides of them, whether it's bringing them short to go long. I'll be trying to ask those sort of questions as a forward going into them. But both of them are very good at coming short with the centre forward, and they've both got enough pace to deal with anything or any threat behind them.
Is there anyone that they remind you of that you've come across in your career?
There's many combinations that I've come across, but I think they're just unique in their own self with Brentford. I don't think we've seen a partnership quite like these two in terms of the clean sheets, the combination that they have together. There's been many partnerships over the years, but I think these two have got to be ranked as one of the best ever.
And obviously Ethan set up Ryan's goal from the corner, and Saturday last week we said we didn't really know what to expect from Reading. We didn't know which Reading would turn up. Turns out they just didn't bother turning up. Bit of a weird one, wasn't it? Just a nothing performance for them, or was it that we were just that good?
Yeah, we was that good as well, but I think with Reading they just, as you said, I don't think they was really too bothered about the fixture. I was quite surprised with that because I thought they might have had a bit more energy towards Brentford to try and destabilise what we're doing, even though they haven't got anything to play for themselves. But I'm glad that we got the first goal and it just escalated into 2 more goals. Great goal by Joel Valencia at the end.
Well, yeah, let's get on to him. What a strike this is. Not really seen much of him this season, but he's done all right post-lockdown, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a squad player, to be honest, isn't he, right now with whoever's in front of him. I'm not sure what the keeper was doing in that incident there. It looked like he should have saved it, but we're grateful that it's gone in. It's pleasing for him as well that he's got his first Brentford goal, so it's just made it an emphatic win.
It was an emphatic win. Right, Marcus, ask me what my favourite sport is apart from football.
What is your favourite sport, Stu, outside of football?
Funny you should ask me that, because that's exactly what I asked Dru Yearwood. Here's my favourite.
Thierry Henry, because I support Arsenal as well. Yeah.
It wasn't a midfielder?
I didn't always play midfield, to be fair.
You were a striker then?
Yeah, when I was little, I was a striker, yeah.
Is there anyone that you look at for your game?
As of sort of recent years, like N'Golo Kante, Makalele, Gattuso sometimes.
I love Gattuso.
Yeah. Stoke, the FA Cup. Yeah, it was my first like proper 90 minutes for Brentford. Yeah, no, just like my mind was very clear going into the game. Like everything just was good. Everything went well in the game, and we won. Pair of trainers,
yeah.
Some Jordans, yeah, Jordan 1s.
And you know what's coming next? Who's the worst dressed in the club?
I don't know how Dom could call me the worst dressed when all he does is wear Puma gear and that is it. Literally just Puma everything. Yeah, Dom is the worst dressed by far. Yeah, you can't just wear your sponsor and that's it. I've got 2, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tennis and basketball.
Basketball, no disrespect. Yeah. Like myself.
Yeah, no,
I'm not the tallest.
Yeah, no, I'm not tall. But not to play, just to watch, to be fair.
Yeah. Did you watch Last Dance?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, it's so good. Unbelievable.
You see that mentality that he had?
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you can compare that you've met to in football?
Parts of the way Michael Jordan was, I don't agree with.
Really?
Massively don't agree with as well, yeah.
In what way?
I just think he was a rubbish teammate. But I understand his competitiveness and there's levels, but I just think he took it a bit too far.
Do you think you need to be a bit like that though to get to that level?
Yeah, no, you need a bit of that in your game, definitely. But I think everyone's got that. I think when you're passionate about something, you just have that.
Yeah.
It's in everyone. The Arsenal one, the white and gold, I think it was 08-09.
Yeah, like Van Persie?
Yeah, Van Persie, yeah. That was my favourite kit.
Do you swap kits ever? Have you got any?
Yeah, I've got Hamza Chowdhury's shirt from the Leicester game, the FA Cup.
How does that work? Do you call him out on the pitch and say, after can I get it?
Yeah. So, when the game finished, we were just talking and he just said, well played today. And I'm never one to ask. Like, I just said, "Oh, well played. Like, can I have your shirt?" And he went, "Yeah." And then, like, I've taken his shirt, and he went, "Can I have yours?" I went, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure you want mine?" And he's gone, "Yeah." And I've gone, "Oh, okay." So I just gave it to him.
So now at Hamza Chowdhury's house, framed, there's a Dru Yearwood shirt.
There's a Dru Yearwood shirt, yeah. I like Roy Keane, to be fair. He makes me laugh. Yeah, he makes me laugh.
If you were a pundit, would you find it hard to talk about players if they weren't playing so well?
No, but I would be very biased, I think.
Would you help out your mates if you've played with them?
Yeah, if I played with someone. Like, if someone was battering Ollie, I think I would, like, proper just... I'd be like, "Nah, you can't batter him. Nah. He scored 20 goals. Nah." I'm going to give you 3. Josh Da Silva, because, to be fair, I knew him from before when I was younger at Arsenal. Yeah, when I came here, he just made everything easier, and he was good with me and Dom, to be fair, always. He just settled us in because we both came in at the same time. I'm going to go Ollie, because every time he sees me, he just starts smiling.
Oh.
Every time he looks at me, he's just smiling. And Rico. Because every time Rico looks at me, he just laughs as well. No matter what I say, Rico just laughs.
So whenever you talk to each other, you just walk around smiling at each other.
Yeah, if me and Rico see each other, we'll just laugh. That's literally it.
It seems to be like a really decent atmosphere in the camp, looking at.
Yeah, I think just everyone's sort of around the same age. I think that's sort of a key factor. I think there's not much groups, like, if you know what I mean. Like, everyone just is together all the time. Brian's so funny, to be fair.
In what way?
He's just funny. He's always making noises.
What noises?
He's just making noises, yeah. Like, he'll say something in French, and then everyone will be there. Like, we were doing the warm-up, and it was silent. And then he's just run over and he's gone, "Come on, Brentford." Probably Drake or Future.
Mate, I was going to say, standard footballer answer, Drake.
Yeah, Drake, yeah.
Who's got the worst music taste out of the lads then?
I don't want to say this because he's going to hurt me. In training, probably, if he sees it. But Henrik Dalsgaard, oh.
In what way?
Henrik's he's on the music before the game, and it's just horrible.
Come on, what kind of stuff?
I don't even know. There's some Danish songs in there. There's just all sorts. There's rock and roll. There's all sorts in there.
And no one's gonna say to him, "Get that off," because he's pretty scary, isn't he?
No, but people tell him to get off, but he says, "We're winning." So you can't really knock it. You can't knock it.
Come on, Brentford! Love that from Brian. Also, good luck on Monday, Dru, if Henrik sees this. He's going to get it, isn't he?
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes.
Who was on the music when you were playing?
We had Lloyd Abusu, who was decent, by the way.
He's a DJ as well, isn't he?
Yeah, very good.
What did he play?
Funky house, bit of R&B, especially if we won a game.
Nice.
Getting
and then
the boys
partied
ready.
out after with him at his gigs.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Look, like myself and Marcus, I'm sure a lot of you are missing football. 2 weeks ago, we told you about the brilliant work the Brentford Community Sports Trust have been doing during lockdown, and they'll now be running brand new football sessions from Monday to Friday, 5 to 8:30 p.m, open to boys and girls ages 5 to 16. Delivered by the Trust experienced coaches, these sessions are delivered at the new state-of-the-art sports facilities at Gunnersbury Park. They, of course, will be adhering to the latest government and FA guidance regarding sports activities. You can get all the details on the Trust website, brentfordfccst.com, and that's also where you can book your sessions. Well, Brentford are filling that void for me at the moment, and 2 home games this week. Marcus, starting with Wigan. Where do you start with them? Obviously, the news this week going into administration, a lot going on. 12-point penalty, but they're saying if they go down, it goes into next season. If they finish outside the top 3, it comes into this season, which then will affect things. It's a very different landscape to maybe what it would have been earlier in the week. What will it be like? You've been at clubs when you've gone through administration. What is it like?
It is tough and it does galvanise you. I had this at Watford many years ago, and it really sort of got the group together. We had a point to prove, and that came out in our performances as well. So I'm expecting Wigan to come out with probably the same sort of mindset, is that it's going to really gel them even stronger together to continue this run, and to maybe just try and win the match, because their points total is going to count in the end of the season.
So it's pretty bad timing for us. And to be honest, before we've got a little stat on them, and they were bossing it, as the stat says, courtesy of Playmaker, and they were unbeaten in 9. Well, they are unbeaten in 9. They haven't conceded for 7 games, and they've won 30 points in 2020, which is more than any other side in the league. So it was already going to be a tricky fixture as it was.
Yeah, clean sheets since the restart. I think they've got 7 goals as well. So both teams are going into it with the same sort of form guide. I think we've obviously played teams that are obviously higher up in the table, which gives us a better standing going into this game compared to Wigan. So very tough match to come.
Do you think they'll come at us?
I think they will, especially with the news that's just happened this week. I think they'll just come out all guns blazing, trying to prove a point.
And after Wigan, we've got Charlton. That away performance early in the year, how do you describe it? It was just rank day, wasn't it? It was horrible.
You're going to get days like that. The good thing is, it was early in the season. When we do play them coming up, it's going to be a different proposition, because we're right on form.
Last week, I said if we get 6 points, can I start getting excited? We got them. Can I get excited?
No.
Well, what about next week if it's the same again?
No.
What? Well, look, come on. Let's look at these fixtures, because I want to get excited. I'm sure everyone is. These are the top 5s. We've put the top 5 here, because in theory, the ones that maybe could sneak into the top 2. Mm-hmm. It is still a big ask. Where do you think teams could be slipping up here?
Good question. It's a tough running for everybody. Derby, you seem to play everybody in that top 5, so they're going to be the team to watch to see who they're going to draw points back on, and that will help our cause. But we've got to obviously do our part, win as many games as possible out of the last 6. Can it be done? I think it could be. Is there a possibility of a slip up? There may be just one little slip up.
Yeah, and is it a case we've got to win all 6 pretty much to get top 2?
If we can do that, then that would be brilliant. But again, it's still out of our hands. We're still going to need Leeds and West Brom to slip up somewhere along the line.
And is it that you kind of said, almost not looking at everyone else, just focus on what you're doing?
I know it's an old cliche, not many like it, but you have to just play each game as it comes. You can't look further down the road. The most important game is that next one.
Everyone's saying that. I'm not having it.
It's the truth. You can't.
How can you not? We're doing it now. Honestly, I've been looking at everyone's fixtures. I've predicted every result. I can't help it. But look, you're the athlete. You've done it. So, and on that, 6 games to go when you obviously went up in 91, 92. What did you guys do? How did you approach it? Was it like that you just said?
It's just as I said.
But no one in that group was going, we've got this coming up, they've got these coming up.
It was the game in front, you're focused on that. As soon as that game's finished, you're on to the next one in sort of your preparation. And I think that kind of it gives everybody that feeling of, this is serious, we can do it, we can't run away with ourselves, can't get too carried away, because I think if you look too far down the road, that's going to be a stumbling block in your sort of preparation and mentality.
And what about confidence and stuff? Is it hard to manage that so you don't start getting too carried away?
No, I think the confidence level is quite easy to deal with. I think once you're winning matches, everyone knows exactly how we're playing, the players know who's in the side. There's no sort of grey areas, so to speak, with your confidence. So I think the players will be really up for the matches. They'll be excited about the matches. They're probably quietly excited on the inside, but you wouldn't see that from just looking at them or talking to them off the pitch.
Yeah, but I'm an absolute mess. I don't know how they do it, because honestly, this has just been absolute carnage so far. But I'm absolutely loving it. It's too tight to call, and there was a few more tight calls for Paul Gibbs as he sat down with Natalie Sawyer and picked his all-time Brentford 11.
So what formation are you going for then, Paul?
Well, I'm going to keep it old school. I'm going to go for the straightforward 4-4-2.
Who have you gone for in goal then?
So in my time, there was Woody and Ollie Gottskallson. He was an Icelandic powerhouse. He really was. He scared the living daylights out of me. Certainly wasn't scared to tell you how he felt and absolutely wipe out 10 players to clear a ball. His passion and desire for the game was fantastic, and great shot stopper. 6'3", filled the goal out, and there wasn't much that he couldn't do. I remember one half time, Gavin Marn and Ollie having a right set to, and I think Wally Downs got in the middle of them at that time. So I would have liked to see who was going to win on that one.
Who do you think would have won?
I think Gav.
Really?
I think Gav. Yeah, he's got massive arms. Gav, just ridiculous.
Who have you gone for as your right back, should we say?
There was a few choices. I had Danny Boxall, who when I joined the club was injured, but I played against Danny, and he was an unbelievable player. Really, really strong, very quick, horribly good looking. And then there was Dobbo, again, one of those lads that was a younger lad when I joined. I loved his passion. The way Ray Lou had the team set up, it fitted perfectly for Dobbo. It could bomb forward, excellent delivery, absolutely first class.
Okay, so that's your first defender. Let's go for your first centre-back.
So I'm going to go for the Claw, Big Powley, Darren Powell.
Claw, I love it.
He was the first person. I actually walked in that change room. It was quite intimidating, and the first person I saw was Darren Powell. And I looked at him and went, Jesus Christ. Powley on the pitch was brilliant. Technically not very great, but made up for it, again, in his willingness and passion and desire to win and achieve. And he never ever, through training and any game that I played in, I never ever saw him pull out the tackle.
The Claw? Why?
His feet. They were like, he had a size like 15 feet, and his toenails were like
The toe.
they were like a big bald eagle toenails. They were horrific. So yeah, and that was it. The minute he'd walk in the shower, you'd just see these feet come round the corner, and you just get out. It's just, they were horrible, awful.
Right. All right. Let's quickly move on from that. So who's his partner in the centre of defence?
I'm going to go for Eva Ingemartsen. When I first joined Brentford, the story was Eva was playing centre midfield. Everyone, when I joined, just said, just don't give him the ball. I was like, what? No, I said, he's playing centre mid. They went, he's useless. Don't give him the ball. He started playing in midfield. I could see why. I was thinking, he can't play with his back to the game. He can't do it. And then Ray Lou shoved him in at centre half. Wow, what a difference!
Different player.
He was unstoppable. Again, another Icelandic, quiet lad, built like a brick ton house. The way he could read a game defensively, he wasn't lightning quick, but he was very, very strong and could read a game brilliantly. In the space of 2 or 3 years, going from somebody that don't give him the ball to playing in the Premiership, he's done all right.
Just quickly then, on Powell and Ingemartsen together, how great a partnership were they?
Brilliant. I think any centre forward coming up against them two would have thought, I'm in trouble today. And because they had everything. You had Powley that would kick the living daylights out of you, and then you had Eva, who was technically brilliant.
Okay, should we move on to your left back? I think I know who you're going to go for, but I have to say, and we have to put this out there, because when I was up talking to you about this, you were like, am I allowed to put myself in? I think you're the only person that's ever asked if they could put yourself in this team.
If I was as good as I did defensively, he's got no chance of beating me. Because going forward, I was all over him. He was great going forward, but he couldn't deliver. His left foot was average, And that's me being as polite as I can. But defensively, magnificent. I would hate to be a right winger against him because he was small, nasty. He'd get up in your face. He was horrible to play against, and technically very, very good. If we're going for an out-and-out left back, and I think my formation is a left back type thing because I've got someone in front of me that was a lovely good left winger. So I'll go with Ija.
Should we move into your midfield then? Who was your first pick?
So right wing, I've gone for Martin Rowlands.
Right.
So we connected on the pitch.
Right.
I was at left back, he was right wing. I could hit a diag to him and I knew exactly where he'd be. I didn't even need to look up. For a footballing brain and his ability, the minute I joined the club, I said to him, you'll be in the Prem, man. You'll be top end all day long. I know how he left Brentford and what he did was completely wrong. But as a footballer, I understand it. I don't agree with it. I understand what he's done. But on that pitch, as a right winger, all day long.
As it is then, should we go for the first one that you've got in the middle?
Yeah, I'm going to go to his partner, Gavin Mann. So I'd have Gavin Mann right next to him. There's one player that had the respect for absolutely everybody. And I know Paul Evans was captain at that time, but Gav was the leader. He had the authority around him. So he's one of them guys, another one of the guys that I hate. That when someone walks in a room and everyone goes, wow. They kind of have got that bubble around them where everyone is drawn to him. And Gav is that. You stuck him in the middle of that park and he would dictate, and again, another one, Premiership. And, he did brilliantly in the Premiership.
Who's his partner in the middle?
This was really hard. Really, really hard. So I've got Paul Evans, lived with me for 6 months.
Right.
And then I've got Steve Sidwell.
Okay.
I've gone with Stevie Sidwell.
Okay.
And I've gone with Siddy because of the impact that he made in such a short space of time at Brentford. Evo was brilliant and a great captain. Really, really great guy. But Siddy came in and changed it. He upped the tempo.
How did he change it then?
I think it's just his quality. I think because he came in from Arsenal, it got a lot of people, it got us kind of looking around going, "Oh, he's coming in from Arsenal. He must be good." And then the first couple of games, he did okay. And I think then we played Stoke and he belted one in the top corner from about 35 yards out. And he controlled that game and everyone was like, my God. Siddy came in very understated, very quiet, got on with his business, went home. And you could see in training that he's a big thinker, real good thinker in the game. But yeah, Steve had all the attributes. And again, not being funny, but you look at his career, where he went.
Who completes this midfield four then, Paul?
Little Hunty, Stephen Hunt. We'd travel in together. I used to pick him up on the car because his car would break down. I'd have to fix his tyres for him and I'd have to lend him money because he was skint. He even jumped on after a Brentford game, my sister ran me up. She goes, Stephen Hunt stood next to me on a train, couldn't pay, had no money, just jumped on the train and was running away from the ticket inspector because he couldn't pay. So I absolutely loved the lad. I loved his enthusiasm. He was a pocket rocket. He really was.
Again, though, he went on to have a great career playing in the Premier League. Was from what you'd seen in the early sort of stages of his career, were you straight away thinking this guy can make it?
Hunty's one of those lads that through sheer hard work and determination, I don't think Hunty was technically brilliant. I don't think he had a great left foot, but he had all the energy and passion to take him where he needed to get to. And I really respected him for that.
Okay, so we've got our two banks of four. So who's your top two?
Okay.
Oh, Lloydie. Of course it's going to be Lloydie.
Yeah, Woos. Do you know what? I think on and off the pitch, I've met a lot of footballers in my time. And right now, Lloydie has to be the most nicest, loveliest man I have ever met in football. And I'm gutted for Lloyd that he never hit the top. Yeah. Because I think Lloydie could have nailed the Premiership. I really do. And that's one player that I really think should have always played Premiership football. He was a horrible player to play against because he was so dangerous. In the air, with pace, both feet, unbelievable first touch.
That's Lloyd Woos then. Who's his partner in crime?
Scotty P is going to hate me for this.
Oh, this is not good.
I know, but I'm going to go with Big Ben Burgess.
Oh, well, Triple B.
He made a huge impact when he came and signed for us. Again, not the most mobile, but it didn't need to be because he had Lloyd. He would think exactly. His mind and his brain worked as quick as Hunty's legs. He's a very thoughtful footballer. Yeah. He wouldn't just do anything off the cuff. Everything that he'd do, and you could see that he was thinking way before he'd got the ball.
But what was it about Burgess and Owusu that works so well. I think they had 40 goals between them in that 2001-02 season. How did they work so well together? And do you think they were they the most dangerous partnership in the league that year?
I think so. I think so. I guess it's the old, little and large show. I guess, albeit both of them were 6+.
Yeah.
You'd have one that would stay, and then you'd have one that would always be stretching them. So defenders didn't quite know how to play it. They didn't want to drop off with Ben because Ben was good at his feet. They didn't want to be pulled out of the way because the minute they got pulled out of the way, me, Dobbo, or Gav or any had the ability to drop a ball over their heads for Lordy to run onto.
Yeah.
So it was all about creating space, and that's why they were so difficult as a pair to mark, and they were brilliant at finding space.
And we always ask for your manager, so who would be your boss for this team?
Steve Cops.
I might know. Yeah.
Steve Cops. Cops had that brilliant ability to drag out every single percent that everyone had. And technically I wasn't great, but he made me feel $1 million. He really did.
I can imagine a very sociable group that you all were. And what about that connection with the fans for you? How important was that?
Biggest thing for me. I think, again, I had 2 clubs. I had that at Brentford and I had that at Torquay. My connection with probably Brentford way surpasses my connection at Torquay. I love Torquay because I had 1 season now. I had longer, but the footprint that I have with Brentford is constant. I mean, I can't believe it's 20 years ago that I first joined. And even now, the Brentford fans that still contact me on Facebook, and and I was there 2 or 3 times last season, and every one of them they stop me. My kids are like, "Jesus Christ, Dad!" I'm like, "I'm sorry." They're like, "Oh, you love this, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I do." I do, because you think after all these years, the Brentford fans never forget. And again, I wasn't there long. I wasn't, I didn't score millions of goals, and I didn't do anything fancy, but I gave it my all. And and I think the Brentford fans appreciated that, and I wanted to give my all for the Brentford fans because they deserve that. So I get goosebumps now thinking about it, thinking, oh my God, they could be in the Prem. And how excited I am for the likes of Pete Gillam, people that have been there pretty much since they were in nappies, I guess, to have that opportunity for Pete to be calling out Brentford Football Club in a new stadium in the Premiership. It's literally, again, honestly, I'm going goosey thinking about it. It's just, I never thought I'd think like that for a football club, but I now know what it's like to be a football fan.
That was quality, and I'll be honest, Paul and Natalie spoke for a long time, and there was so much gold, so much good content in there. We had to cut it down, obviously, for times. Maybe we could look at doing a longer edit, or I'm sure there'll be an opportunity for Paul to share some of these amazing stories that I was privileged enough to see. Let's look at his team, Marcus.
Yeah.
You've played with a couple of these. He said Lloyd Owusu, nicest man in football. Go along with that?
I would go along with that. I would put Kevin O'Connor up there as well. Andy Frampton.
Yeah.
In my second spell, they was very good guys. But yeah, Lloyd for sure. Still in touch with him now till this day. Great guy to have around.
Talk to you about, like you say, you've played with a few of these boys. Gavin Mann?
Yeah, Gavin Mann, he left Brentford to come to Watford where I was. Came with the dreadlocks as well. They made the journey, which was great. Got a little bit of stick for them as well when he first signed. But yeah, very good player, settled into it well and got promoted to the Premier League. Michael Dobson as well, when I was in my second spell, I think he was captain at the start of it. And then Kevin took that role over, but yeah, very good player. And obviously Lloyd himself, we know all about Lloyd.
Yeah, this was an unbelievable squad, and for me, some great memories. And that partnership in particular, we've been talking a lot about centre-back partnerships, and they were absolutely phenomenal. Probably the best in the league at the time, and I'm delighted to say we're joined by one half of the best in the league at the moment, as here with us in the studio is Ethan Pinnock. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you guys doing?
We're all good.
Very good, yeah.
What you've been up to? A bit of a quiet week, innit? Just a man of the match performance on the telly. Another clean sheet, an assist. Oh, not bad. Top of the league as well. Seriously though, how are the lads feeling? It's been a pretty special couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's just buzzing at the moment. You know, the highs from coming back playing and obviously winning as well. You know, we knew it'd be really important to try and start quickly to put pressure on the teams around us. And yeah, the mood in the camp's really good at the moment.
And what about that mentality? Because I've seen Thomas and Christian say, no, it's just the next match, that's all we're looking at. I'm not having this. How do you lot do that? Because I'm here looking at every fixture, permutation, who we've got, who they've got. Are you seriously just going, yep, just the next game?
Well, yeah, we try to do as much as possible because, you know, in reality, the only results that we can affect are our own game. So you kind of just got to make sure that we take care of our business. So I think having full focus on the next game is always the main thing, because if you're looking at other things, you might lose track of what's the most important thing, and it's always the next game up. That's always the most important one.
To be fair, that's what Marcus said earlier, and I wasn't having it. But yeah, all right, you two are actually footballers.
It's the truth, though, isn't it? So, Ethan, after the West Brom game, what does Thomas say?
He just said that, you know, he was really pleased with how we played. Really, obviously the Fulham game, we had to grind that one out. It was a late winner, but you know, he was pleased that we managed to take our performance levels to that next step. You know, I think we were a bit sharper. Our passing was a bit more crisp, and I think defensively we were solid again. I think that's a really big thing for him this year. The desire to defend and the togetherness of the team, and I think, you know, these first 3 games back, we've really shown it.
What's another clean sheet? What's been the key to that unbelievable record?
Well, yeah, I just think as a whole unit, you know, there's a lot of teams where the defenders, you know, they're happy to defend, but sometimes maybe the players ahead might not be their first thought. But I think in the team we got at Brentford, you know, everyone's first thought is when we're out of possession, can we start an instant press? If not, get behind the ball as quick as we can. I think from the back as well, from David, me, Pontus, Henrik, Rico, we try and make sure the players in front of us are organised, and obviously having Chris in there as well, you know, every second ball he's there, and he's, you know, we kind of just try and drive each other on, and I think we take great pride in not conceding goals.
We've got to talk to you about your partnership with Pontus, the best in the league for me, surely. What's it like playing alongside him?
Yeah, it's great, you know, really experienced player, communicates really well, loves the challenge as well, and, you know, I just think that, you know, that experience helps throughout the team. You know, us having a young side even, but I think, you know, the back four and the goalie, we're a lot older. Well, not a lot older, but we're a bit older than the rest of the team. So I think, just having us behind them helps to guide them a bit. And yeah, you know, he's really taken to the leadership role, and you know, he's been a good, really good role model for a lot of the boys in the team.
I've never met him. What's it like when you first meet someone like Pontus? Is it intense straight away, or was it scary, intimidating?
No, not really. I think we was out in Austria for pre-season when he joined up with us. So it wasn't really intense or anything, because, you know, in the early stages of pre-season, I think there's a lot of new faces, so everyone's kind of just getting to grips with things and meeting each other. So yeah, he's quite He's quite laid back when we first met him, so yeah, it wasn't anything too much.
Why do you think the partnership works so well?
I'd say, you know, we kind of always have each other's back. So if I ever see him going up for a challenge, you know, my first thought's always to think the worst kind of thing and just get round them and cover. And it's the same for me. You know, he's always communicating with me where the striker is, if there's someone running off, and yeah, I'm always making sure I'm round. So I think we just complement each other well in the way that we communicate, and I think both sides of the games, on the ball and off the ball, we're both like fairly decent both sides of the ball. So I think that's how it works.
And with the record that we've got and the way the two of you are playing, are you just going into games feeling unbeatable at the moment?
Yeah, you know, we're really confident going into games. We know that as an 11, as a squad, we're a really strong team. And, you know, if we play to the manager's instructions and play to our potential, that we'll beat anyone in the league. But, you know, there's always a case of going out and doing it. And yeah, yeah.
He calls you the Mountain. Have you got a nickname for him?
Nah, just Skip, really.
Yeah. And look, mate, from a personal point of view, you've come a long way in a very short space of time, making a step up from non-league to fighting for promotion to the Premier League in, 3 years? Have you had a chance to take stock and just go, wow, look at the journey I've been on and how meteoric that rise has been?
I haven't had a lot of time, really, because, you know, towards the end of each season, you kind of just want to have a couple weeks to just reset and go again. And that's probably the time when you have a bit of time for reflection. But obviously when I'm back at home, I'm with the little one, so everything's still kind of 100% all the time. But, you know, I need to, maybe next time I get a bit of a break, I'll have the time to just reflect on things. But yeah, you know, I'm proud of, you know, what I've achieved so far. Obviously being in the long league for a long time, but you know, I've just, each time I've moved or started a new season, you know, I've just tried to take another step forward. And yeah.
And look, this might sound like a silly question. If it is, we'll edit it out, so I'm all right here. And tell me if it is a silly question. What is the big difference from non-league to Championship, the centre forwards that you're facing?
I'd say mainly the movement, the sharpness, and maybe the thought processes behind the play. So I'd say higher up the leagues, you know, you have to be more alert. You always have to be concentrating, because if you're out of position for 1 second, it can get exposed. And obviously, I think finishing wise, you know, your mistakes get punished more the higher up you go the league. So yeah, I think it's just a case of being sharp in your mind a lot, and yeah, just keeping your concentration for 90 plus minutes.
Like myself, you started off as a winger, didn't you? Who moved you to centre half? Because I'd done the same as well.
Yeah, I had a growth spurt, lost all my pace, and then got moved back.
You lost your pace? How quick were you? If you've lost your pace, you must have been rapid. You're quick now.
No, to be fair, I used to be probably like one of the quickest in, like, when I was a young teen. But yeah, I think as I grew, I don't know what it was. Maybe not lost a bit, but maybe a bit of that sharpness. So I wasn't maybe as sharp as I used to be.
So how did you react to that transition from left winger to centre back?
What kind of happened in stages, because I played in midfield for a bit and at left back for a bit. So it was kind of a step-by-step process. And I think what actually happened was I had a pre-season game whilst I was at Dulwich, and one of the starting centre-backs got injured. So I got moved to play centre-back instead. And yeah, I managed to do well that game. And then since then, that's literally been my position. I haven't moved since then.
We're so grateful that lad got injured in that pre-season game. Whoever he is, I'll send him a little bottle to say thanks. Look, mate, you're also a massive threat from set plays, and something we've done really well this year. Obviously, the assist for Brian at Reading. It's no secret of our work with Andreas, the set-piece coach. Had you had that before at any other club?
No, I hadn't. You know, usually there'd kind of be the standard routines where everyone would line up and then just make a run to a certain area. But, you know, Andreas, he works really hard. He's always showing us different routines and ways we can switch it up to catch teams out. He's always looking for their weak spots and where we can hurt them most. So I think, you know, Andreas puts a lot of work into it. And, you know, when we do train set pieces, you know, we take it seriously, because a lot of the time a set piece could be the difference between winning, drawing and losing. So I think from that aspect, the boys have really taken what he's saying on, and it's working well at the moment.
So how long would you work on them, like per week? Is it ingrained into the schedule every week pretty much?
Yeah, so, you know, a couple times a week, a few times a week, after the main session's done, he'd pull a few players and just run some set pieces for maybe 10-15 minutes, nothing too long, but just to get the rhythm in our heads so that when it comes to match day, we know the movements and kind of to get the timings a bit more on spot.
You could be up against your old teammate, Kiefer Moore, this weekend. Have you spoken to him?
I have not since we come back, but yeah, I spoke to him a few weeks ago, and yeah, you know, he's a good lad, Kiefer, big boy as well, couple inches taller than me, so yeah, it should be a good battle.
Didn't he used to be a centre half, and he's gone the other way, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think when I played with him at Forest Green, I think there was a game where he played centre half next to me as well. So yeah.
Wow. And then now you've been marking him, so you know his game inside out, didn't you?
Yeah, unless he's changed it within the last few months, yeah.
Look, mate, it's also a year ago since you arrived at Brentford. Marcus forgot your cake. Don't know what's going on there.
Sorry.
How do you sum up the last 12 months?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. You know, coming to London, being a London boy originally, everyone at the clubs was so welcoming when I first joined. From day one, you know, I felt a part of the club. The coaches, the external staff, the cooks, everyone's just been brilliant with me, and had a really good year.
Look, mate, we've loved it, and look, still got some more to go, and hopefully we can top it all off and put the icing on that cake that Marcus will eventually get to you. Thanks for your time, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Thrown you under the bus a bit there with the cake. Sorry, mate.
A little bit of pressure for me. I can handle it.
Yeah, got to raise it. First of all, he reckons he's lost pace. How quick must he have been?
He must have been Speedy Gonzalez in his early years if he's lost pace, because he's still rapid now.
Seriously though, he's just got better and better this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's taken his chance to get into the team, and since then he's just grown each game and become a colossal at the back.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you were saying about him and Pontus and the way they work. And look, also, whoever you are that got injured, thank you. If you know it was you, get in contact with the club, and I don't know, I'm going to say thanks, or sure we can sort something out, because, wow, because of you, he's made the move to centre half, and now we've got him. We won the competition there, and you guys could have won a competition that Sergi Canos teed up for us last week by saying who he would least like to be stuck in a lift with. Is who he actually said.
Which Brentford player in the squad would you least like to be stuck in a lift with?
I would like to.
Wouldn't like to?
I wouldn't like.
No.
Oh my god. It depends, because if Pontus had a bad day like today, he didn't win a game, I don't want to be with Pontus. But I don't know, maybe, I don't know, everyone is nice. Maybe Henrik, he's angry. He's an angry man.
So Sergi would least like to be stuck in a lift with Henrik Dalsgaard and Pontus Jansson. To be fair, I reckon they'd probably just break out of it. Anyway, Marcus has got all the names of the correct entrants in there for us. If you'd like to do the honours and pick one lucky winner who will receive a special prize that Bob is sorting for us.
Here we go. Oscar.
Just Oscar.
Yeah, just Oscar. Well done.
Well done, Oscar. So you will be winning a special prize that Bob is sorting out for us. Like I say, obviously with what's going on at the moment, please be a bit patient if you can with us. It is a bit trickier to get hold of these prizes, but I can assure you we will be sending them out to you when we can get hold of them. For those of you that weren't lucky this time, don't worry, competition is running again this week. And we asked Pontus Jansson, who out of this squad comes up with the worst excuses to not pay their fines?
Pontus, the question is, Who comes up with the worst excuses to try and get out of paying fines?
Now that Sergi named my name yesterday as a bad loser, I can't name Sergi here. But Sergi has another time so this year because of his injury, so he's Stabo and them that running his timing, so it's not as much as me, job for me and Henrik. But Sergi is absolutely one of them. For as well.
So I know what you're thinking, we've left a name out. No, that isn't a mistake. It was pretty obvious he was talking about Sergi. So we want to know who the other two people were that Pontus says make the worst excuses to get out of their fines. There is also another competition. We love a competition at Brentford, and it is a drawing competition. As you can see here behind me, Luke Daniels looking brilliant in that illustration from the amazing Dave Flanagan. It's a drawing competition for the programme. This is tomorrow's programme for Wigan. Do you know who that originally was?
It does make me think back to when I was younger, yeah.
It was originally a picture of you that Josh De Silva has copied the post for. So the competition is, you could be in the last ever programme at Griffin Park, and we want you to draw something that reminds you of Griffin Park. If you send your entries into this email address below, Chris Deacon will respond to them. And basically it could be anything you want. Take a picture of it and send it to Deeks. Two big games coming up this week, Marcus. Can I get a prediction for you?
Oh, I would like to win against Wigan. I think through their circumstances it might be a draw for us.
Charlton?
Charlton, I think we should be looking to win that game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, look, you might have noticed that the players have been wearing their Black Lives Matter and Be Together t-shirts in the warm-ups for the games over the last week. The club also put out a statement on their website and on social media channels, and just want to reiterate that message from them that we want everyone to feel welcome at Griffin Park and at Brentford, and we will continue to fight racism and discrimination of any kind. That's it for another week, and we're going to leave you with this. It was 3 years ago on Tuesday that we signed the General, Cameron Makocho. So here's a few of his highlights.